guess is who the cherished pop star is. It's my great pleasure. Say a warm hello to David Cassidy. How are you?
Fine. A warm hello to you, too.
A warm hello to the fans as well. Now, you expect to be mobbed in about half an hour, we hope. Are you ready for this?
Oh, Lord. Yes, of course I'm ready for this. I've got my mobbing suit on. No.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I must say, coming over here and last night and this morning, there are an awful lot of great fans out there, and I just want to say I hope you're not freezing to death, and thank you. I do appreciate it, and it's wonderful to be here with you.
We'll give him glasses of brandy, David, I promise you that. We'll examine
I'll appreciate that.
We will examine in depth your past, present, and future after about 8:30, but we must go to Wincy right now. Hello, Wincy.
Hello, Richard Keys is...
Right now, I suppose, a little bit difficult for us to believe that Christmas is just a week away, but here's to remind us happily of that fact. Resplendent in another new wonderful garment, Giles Brandreth.
Yes, indeed. It's nice to know, isn't it, that in a world where there is lots of darkness, there is actually a lot more light. We celebrate today the 70th birthday of the Cubs, that most marvellous of movements. Those of us who are in the Cubs, here we are. And you in the Boy Scouts as well. Look at that. And it turns you into a real man. It's a marvellous thing. And the guys, of course, the Brownies. We salute you all. We salute the nation. Good morning, Britain. I wonder, how long do you think Christmas trees have been around? 100 years? More? Less? I'll tell you. At least 400 years. Way back in 1605, a German...
A Christmas tree this weekend. You know the ones, the English ones are the ones whose needles fall all over the floor.
And create that lovely sound that is part of Christmas.
Well, the vacuum cleaner hoovering them up. And the Welsh ones are the ones that don't drop their leaves so easily.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this is what I was told.
Die the tree.
I hope it's true, because I forked out on a Welsh one.
Well, you can never go wrong with anything from Wales.
Well, no, that's true.
There's lovely. David Cassidy was nodding, actually, Anne, when you mentioned the vacuum and the needles off the Christmas tree. That's your experience of Christmas.
Well, I thought it was always a great gimmick, you know. They get you to bring the needles and the tree in the house. And I guess Hoover is the company over here, right?
Well, we call them Hoovers,
yeah.
We should call them vacuums, really.
It's all part of Christmas, you know, picking them off your socks.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy the whole thing of putting up the Christmas tree, all the traditions?
Well, I'm actually spending Christmas this year alone in my car.
Oh.
That's kind of sad, isn't it? Can we send some cards and flowers? Yeah. No, I really am doing that this year. It's actually the only time I'm going to have to do some research on a film that I'm going to do, which I'm going to be able to tell a little bit about. Only time off I have is about 10 days at Christmas, so I'm going to do that. However, I ordinarily, in answer to your question, I love all of the...
No, I'm worried about you this Christmas. You can't just leave it there. What about the plum pudding and
you could come with
turkey?
Ah, right. Where is the Cassidy car, then? Where will it be motoring?
It's going to be motoring all over the southwestern part of the United States. Rather an unusual way to spend Christmas, is it not? I find I also get a tremendous amount of clarity when I'm out alone on the road, going about 160 miles an hour. I find that it really does clear my head out, and I think at the end of the year it's going to be quite good for me.
And on the cassette recorder, on the cassette will be your new album, your new discs?
Well, I do actually...
Solid Cassidy on your own radio?
No, I never do that. A lot of people, you know, think that... They ask me that, actually, if I ever take a lot of my own stuff. I don't, but what I do is bring a cassette, and I will start putting ideas and writing bits down, and I'll put them together and then hopefully come up with a decent piece of music at the end of it.
Well, being a partridge, you should like Christmas, really, shouldn't you?
Now, there was no need for that. At this hour of the morning, the low blows begin.
Oh, it's not.
No, you're absolutely right. I used to get, around Christmas time, I used to get all kinds of those partridges and birds and things, you know, Christmas time.
Partridges in pear trees. We'll talk more about partridges here. Morning.
Hello, good morning. Good to the foyer, not the foyer, what do you call the car park?
In your case, you might have gone straight to the foyer.
The frontispiece of the building. Exactly. And there were several young ladies throwing themselves at this man's feet. And I honked and they looked at me. And I said, that's David Cassidy.
And spat at me.
I did, as it happens. Good morning. I now know why they were there. Anyway, good morning, and welcome to another Jolly Post bag. The last letter comes from Charles Bell from Manor Park in London, E12. He has written to us before, as it happens. You wrote, hello, Post bag. Because of the unwarranted attack on the alleged bad habit of Jane Irving and her sucking noises... Aren't you pleased you came in, David Cassidy? I am writing you a...
Educational this is for me.
It is, isn't it?
You'll meet Jane Irving later.
Right.
I'm writing you a stiff letter of protest. Who's perfect, says Charles Bell. TV and radio are full of such habits, and I thought they were a requisite of the job. All channels are affected. For instance, Jimmy Young has been afflicted for years with the same complaint, as are some of his guests. He doesn't say what the complaint is. Oh. Francis Wilson needs a cervical collar to keep his head up. Ian McGaskill needs speech therapy. Jack Scott needs new dentures. You, dear lady, moi, need a mute for your loud voice. And Anne will interrupt, but I love you all. But as I say, so what? Variety is the spice of life. I repeat, I love you all. Long life, warts and all. As they say, he who is without fault, etc.
Yeah, let him pass the first. Doesn't he mean
cervical collar?
Oh, he said cervical, didn't he?
Yeah,
cervical collar.
He means surgical.
Yes.
Francis Wilson needs a cervical collar. You meant surgical, madame.
Yes.
He meant surgical.
Can we get back to that sucking?
Francis
we were discussing a little
No,
earlier.
we can't get back to having sucking.
No, you'll be able to meet Jane at
Family
9
show,
o'clock.
yeah.
Yes.
I was going to say Francis Wilson would never be able to sit again, would he? Following that advice.
Very worrying.
Right,
that.
David.
Yeah.
Enough of this. David, we were mentioning earlier, and we always do, don't we, the fans that besieged you once upon a time. But there did come a time in your career when actually you said no more. I need to go off on my own.
Yep.
I need to get away. Why was that? Was it a mind-blowing experience?
Frankly, yes, it was a mind-blowing experience. And not that we haven't had, I think, enough serious discussion this morning and enough grim stuff going on in the news at this Christmas hour. It was a point in my life that I needed to make a choice, either die and or give it up. And I mean, I opted for, I'm not sure it was the correct move, but I opted for the latter one.
It happens to so many, doesn't it? In the position that you reached a few years back.
That kind of success is, you never come out of that tunnel the same way you went into it. I mean, people can no longer relate to you as a human being, and that's what drove me crazy, is that they related to me as if I was some sort of God freak. I didn't feel adequate. I didn't feel at all that I was really deserving of all of the love and adulation. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
So that confrontation with oneself, it's such a difficult one. And also I was so young, and you're never prepared for that. I mean, I was an actor. I started in the theater. I started working, doing rep and doing in the LA Theater Company. I moved back to New York. I was 18 years old, and I was very serious about acting. And I ended up doing a lot of television shows in a period of about a year. And one of the things I did was a pilot for a television series. They didn't even ask me if I could sing.
Was that the Partridges?
Yeah. And in a matter of 6 months, my life was totally changed.
David,
I'm sorry.
I'm interrupting you here, actually, but merely because we want to get a vision of you in action, actually, so we can remind everybody of what we're talking about. You've bounced back following that trauma, as it were.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Well, let's see you in action.
Well, you have.
Enough of this talk.
Let's hear
You're
you.
on your way back. Cassidy is back.
Sometimes I think the world is a circus town. Sometimes I feel I belong in a sideshow. That man on the flying trapeze, he ain't never coming down. He knows what I know if you look inside. If I deny it, you might decide you don't want me.
Good to see the sweat of hard work again, isn't it, David?
Look at that boy work.
Yeah, we weren't pleased to see you go, but we're very pleased to see you come back and bounce back.
It's wonderful to be back, and I tell you, I know I said a little bit of this earlier. It means, I can't tell you, having left it and not knowing where and what it was going to be like for me to come back, the climate and the reception. I feel so fortunate, so lucky to have people that, like some of them that were outside and last night, and the kind of response and letters and gifts. I can't tell you, I love you. Thank you very much. I'll come back again.
Well, they're waiting outside for you now, David.
They
We
are,
must not
David.
keep you from them anymore, but
No.
thanks very much. Best of luck.
Thank you.
And I hope,
Best of luck to you,
I
too.
hope your little Christmas in your car is
Well-
jollier than it sounded. I just hope
It
it's
sounds
jollier
so
than...
grim, doesn't it?
It does.
I regret even saying it. Anyway, Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you.
And to you, David.
And to you,
And
of
to
course.
Jenny, yes, she
Yeah,
wants
you can
to-
discuss
right,
that with
okay.
her later.
Anyway, thank you very much, and we will release you to your public outside.
Thank you.
We'll take a short break.
Wait for the screams.